All right, so today I'm going to try to knock out as many of the mentions in my backlog as I can. All right, so we're going to be taking a small break from politics. I'll probably talk some politics today too. But that being said, there's a lot of people who have graciously mentioned me in their videos, and I kind of got sidetracked by a lot of things that were happening. And I'm a terrible time manager, so I'm going to try to have a schedule set up tomorrow. That way I don't have to deal with, again, backlogs as severely. Again, this is all still fairly new to me, right? So I'm going to put priority on the people who I haven't reacted to first. And then we will move on to the people I have already reacted to as well, right? So, for example, I got like 3 from Ohio Birdman that I have to react to, but I only have 2 that I have to react to from, for example, Blastbox music, Blastbox meme music. So right now we're just going to start with Blastbox. It seems that they have made a remix of a it's a bit of a horrifying glitch image, right? I mean, that's very clearly a video, from one of the nonsense videos, not nonsense, one of the lore videos that I put out on my 1000 as a gift to the to my viewers for the 1000 subs. Still feels unreal, by the way. So let's see what we got here, right? So to be clear, I didn't write the lore video. I gave my official lore to 3 different AI, and I was like, all right, here's the thing. I want you to make a new metal version of this. Gave it a style prompt, and then I gave the lore to Suno, gave it to ChatGPT, a Suno specific ChatGPT, and to Grok. And I'm just recently learning now that Gemini is apparently really good with Suno. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna have to try this experiment again with Gemini, see what it comes up with, to see exactly how they differ. So yeah, just that's why there were 3 of them, because they'd popped out 3, and I was like, damn, I kind of vibe with each one of these, right? I gave the AI my lore, and it's like the AI was like, hold my beer. Okay, so without further ado, let's see what we have here. Now, luckily, this to me looks like there's not really a video. It's just kind of like what I do with a background image. And nothing in the image seems to change. Okay. So we have the lyrics down here. We can check the lyrics. Hold on, let me check something. Okay, the lyrics seem to be auto-generated. To be fair, I've been putting in the lyrics to my own songs as well, and it is a pain in the ass to do so sometimes. All right, so let's start.
Hello there, friends. Do you see it yet? The seams in the sky. Good. Why, hello there, friends. From the pad, it's all sky, where the walls hum glyphs only Exiles can decode. They said it's just a dream, but why does it bleed when I peel it apart? They go mad to fall and decay, but I bit through the veil and I slipped away. I spoke a treason in a language they fear. Ghost got smiling with a knife to the sphere.
All right, so this is a very energetic version of the song, right? I mean, it's doing that. This image is very, very fitting for the music we're listening to, right? There's a skull in there that I just noticed. Interesting. Okay, so let's look at the lines, right? Halo thar friends is obviously like something I put in there in my own version of the song, right? But it's a callback to like the lol speak, and specifically the the lolcat trend, which I do still enjoy. But like I even have the Bible translated into lol speak, right? So it's like, okay, fair enough. So do you see it yet? Seams in the sky, good. Yeah. Like my entire point of my channel is like, again, just pointing out how the manipulation that people are doing, like just out in the open. I think anyone who's watched my content understands that, right? Let's see. From the padded cell sky, right? Yeah, the padded cell, because like I'm pretty sure people are gonna call me fucking schizo at some point, right? If they haven't already started calling me a schizo, given some of my commentary. Because I call myself the James Lindsay of VTubers for a reason, right? Like I've yapped a lot about Gnosticism throughout, you know, the various videos I've put out, because I do agree with Eric Vogelin's, you know, analysis of things that, you know, are going on. And James Lindsay happens to be someone who did that analysis. And while I don't agree with him on a number of things, I think in general his general point is salient. Let's see. Where the walls hum glyphs only exiles can decode. Yeah, I mean, sure, like the whole point is demystification, right? That's what I've been trying to do, is like demystify everything. They say it's just a dream, but why does it bleed when I peel it apart? Interesting, right? Again, the AI kind of cooked, and I haven't really thought about in detail the what the AI actually cooked up lyrically speaking. It's like it makes sense, and it's kind of difficult for me to pull it apart without, again, sounding like I'm condescending to anyone who's actually watched my content, right? So let's see. They say fall and decay. Actually, you know what? Hold on. I could probably pull up my original video too to compare and contrast the lyrics. That probably would be more productive. Okay. So the video that he's riffing off of is this one. Pause this. You have the lyrics here. So, as you can see, very much remixed the lyrics, right? But the fall and decay part comes from a lore bit. Okay. Wait a minute, hold on, that's not that one. Because I have 3 of these up. Wait a minute, I think he may have mixed 3... did he mix all 3 of these songs together? That's actually kind of interesting. Hold on. Oh, no, wait, I got the wrong song. Alright, so I'm already making a fool of myself, right? Yeah, they call me mad, said fall and decay. Yeah, this is a section in the story of like the lore, which is about me being cast out of the Devaloka, right? For calling out the Sky King for committing treason against the High Father, right? So again, this is Exile cast down into the lower world. Let's see. Okay, so the image came from one song, and the lyrics seem to come from another song. That's interesting.
I'm like infinity, pulling me down, fall and decay. But I won't kneel to their scripted ends. I glitch, I jump, I bench and stay.
That's what I was going at. Okay, so yeah. So yeah, the fall and decay links to this part right here. Again, I spoke treason in a language they fear. Ghost god smiling with a knife to the sphere. Okay, yeah. Now I remember where specifically I was, right. So this is all based off of the Andrew Lang's theory of Ur monotheism, right? Which is the idea that the original religion of mankind was actually a primitive monotheism. And there is some evidence that you can see regarding this in like comparative analysis of very primitive, materially primitive cultures. Oftentimes they literally just don't really have the time and resources to create this compendium of gods to worship. So oftentimes what they do is they give their oblation to a singular cosmic parent, right? Usually an all father, or sometimes an all mother in some cases, that is father or mother to all spirits and all men and all nations. It's a not universally consistent thing, because you can find materialistically primitive cultures which are polytheistic, and some which seem to be polydemonistic, which is to say that like they don't really ascribe worship as a thing to the spirits, but rather they regard these spirits as malevolent forces. And you can see this in, for example, what the Piraha seem to do, right? But yeah, so the ghost gods is literally a phrase I pulled from Andrew Lang's own work, where he talks about these lesser gods as ghost gods, because that's effectively what the pagan gods are. They are ghosts most of the time, except for like pure abstractions like Libertas, which is a more advanced, polytheism than what many of these ancient tribes would have done. Knife to the sphere. Spheres have a long-standing relation in Platonism, which is why I put that in the lore as well. Actually, hold on. Let's go to the actual lore as well, because the lore is on my channel. So we're gonna probably do 2 passes of this because we're not doing with a video, right? So here's the actual lore. Now I'm thinking about it. Why, hello there, friends. Welcome to the padded cell reserved to those who notice Gnostic wizardry in the midst of It's So Over. Let's always find our We're So Back, doing our best to make the world better. I stream gaming, art, reactions, fandomery, and news. So I intend to go back to the streaming part as well. But been a bit busy. Let's see. Here's the lore. A secretive entity cast out of the Devaloka for challenging the ghost gods for their treason against the High Father, rejecting their fate to fall into time-like infinity at space-like infinity's edge, in combat with the good knight tiger wolf spider, hopping across modalities and cosmologies, searching for a girl with with eyes like autumn wave particles, forever the enemy of Gnosticism and friend of realism, doing what they can to oppose sorcerers and hyper-realities by exposing their secrets and methods. And then you get my worldview here. It's like right libertarian, pro-AI art, pro-crypto, pro-NFT, pro-Fediverse, pro-3D printing, pro-privacy tech, and pro-copyleft. So that's what you'll find is a lot of this is of the lyrics is hearkening to that. So so the time-like infinity pulling me down, and the space-like infinity part, that's actually a reference to the fact that like I actually happen to have an interest in physics and like the hard sciences. And when you read many papers that involve, again, cosmology, instead of saying space or time, a lot of times they will opt for space-like or time-like to avoid any absolute identification commitments, right? So time-like infinity basically means extending outwards infinitely in time. Whereas like a space-like infinity means exactly that, is extending forever in some space-like medium, which generally just means space. But they say space-like and time-like in specifically the Minkowskian physics, because again, in Minkowski's model, space and time are not actually separate. They compose a 4-dimensional geometry. So time is literally just a dimension like space. It's perpendicular to all right angles within the spatial medium, and it's the dimension or axis by which all the different slices in time are actually arranged in parallel to each other, right? Think about like pages in a book, right? Think about like every page being the universe at one particular moment, and then they are all lined up, stacked, if you will, along this axis or degree of freedom. So it's like that's basically the geometric view of space-time. It's the standard in America Minkowskian view. It's called Minkowskian because it wasn't Einstein who developed this interpretation. It's actually Hermann Minkowski. So there's a lot of just like me poking fun at VTuber lore in general, lore songs. It's like, yes, we're some cosmic super being, like, Monarch, for example, or like half the Hololive songs. And I'm like, well, cosmic, but definitely not a super being. I fucking lost this fight, right? Anyway.
We're so back in the cosmic black, where the false light screens crack. I attack, I'm the glitch in their dream, the relapse effect. They said it's just a stress out back.
Okay, fair enough. Damn, there's a lot of there is a lot of energy in this. Oh my god, right? Very hyper. So we're so back in the A Cosmic Black was a line that the AI itself produced. I'm like, damn, actually, I kind of like this verse. I'm not gonna lie, right? Where the false light screens crack. Again, false light would be like a lie, a false enlightenment, which is again the false enlightenment produced by the screens, so they crack, and it's where we attack, because we have to attack at the seams of error in these Gnostic worldviews. We can't, we have to attack at where it's very obviously false, so that we can again pry open like a wedge that crack, and eventually we can break through the entire thing. If you want to use a visual metaphor. I'm the glitch in their dream, the relapse effect. This is the standard, again, rebel, punk singer type stuff, right? So they said it's just a dream, and in the original song, that's where we get back to what it got here. They said it's just a dream. They said it's just a stream, but why does it bleed when I peel it apart, right? As in, it's like, it's not as simple as what they're saying. There's something real underneath it, kind of deal. Something alive, something beating. So let's keep going. That was the wrong button. Okay, so I really like that particular line. They said it's just a game. They said it's just a stream. But why does it bleed when I tear it apart? Because it like broke it apart and it put it across various verses in the song. Let's see. We'll examine the prompt after we look at the lyrics, right, to see exactly what's going on. So let's see. We're so back at the end of forever, where the stars flicker out, but I sever the tether. Across every world, every break in the pattern, and then we get to the here. They said it's just a game because again, it's remixing, it's breaking it apart, and it's putting it back together in a seemingly disordered fashion. But all right, let's get to this part. So we're so back at the end of forever is actually a reference to the line. Hold on, the time like infinity. Oh wait, actually, hold on. Is this mixing two different songs? Okay. It is mixing two different songs. Interesting. So, this is almost certainly here at Space-like Edge where the timelines fray. Interesting. Because that part with the time like infinity, I'm pretty sure is the first one. So he may have put in details about all three songs to get this. My tabs are soon going to be like that of Kirsha. Right? Just fucking everywhere. All right. Yeah, no passive fall into time like infinity's void, at space like edge I stood. Yeah, so actually I think if I remember correctly, the space like and time like appears in like all three of the songs, but they're used very differently. Oh, so he does, okay, so he is mixing different songs together. Interesting. Because yeah, the time like infinity pulling me down, space like infinity sharp as a crown. Yeah, the time like and space like appear in all three of these songs. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that one is a reference to, where was I? Here. At space like edge where the timelines fray, right? So let's go back to the song we're looking at. Hold on, where is it? Hold on. Oh, hold on. Okay. So we're so back at the end of forever. It's probably a riff on where the timelines fray part. Where the stars flicker out, but I sever the tether. So it's like, again, like it's so over, but we're so back is a thing that was like like in the midst of our it's so over, we will find our it's so we're so back, right? So that's literally here, where the stars flicker out, it's so over, but I sever the tether. We're so back. Across every world, every break in the pattern. Again, this is a reference to the thing in the lore earlier, which was a reference to extended modal realism. So extended modal realism is best described in the a real academic paper called Possible Girlfriends, which I will play in just a moment. But it's right here. Hopping across modalities and cosmologies, searching for a girl with eyes like autumn wave particles. So the idea here is that, like, just as you can have different universes nested between each other in a higher spatial dimension, which is not necessary for the many worlds interpretation, but it is sometimes included in the many worlds interpretation theories, because you could also just extend an infinite universe into like an infinite number of repetitions, but I digress. You could also like describe possible world if you believe that possible worlds exist, right? That like possibility is actuality, which is a real position in extended modal realism. One I think is dumb, but it is a real position in extended modal realism. You could nest these different worlds together through a modal dimension, if you will. So it's like you're nesting paraconsistent logic structures next to each other, not through space, not through time, but by their self-consistency as an axis by which to organize things. And speaking of which, pretty sure it's the only thing that I have from Tenma on. Well, actually, maybe one of two. I have more Tenma on here than I thought. So anyway, have some fun with this one. This is a quote I pulled from Possible Girlfriends that I thought was fucking hysterical, and I thought Tenma would find it funny.
With luck at some point, I'll find an actual girlfriend. Good for you, otaku. Since I don't want to be unfaithful, I have to break up with my possible girlfriend if I want to enter into an actual relationship. Possible Girls by Nelson. What is happening? What did you just give me? What does he mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? I don't understand.
Fucking yeah, the chat also found that pretty funny too. Bits of a fucking college paper, lol. The actual, again, if you want to read the paper, it's actually on that particular video. So if you want to go to that video and read Possible Girlfriends, which the abstract reads, and I'll say, I argue that if David Lewis's modal realism is true, modal realists from different possible worlds can fall in love with each other, offer a method for uniquely picking out possible people who are in love with us and not with our counterparts. Impossible lovers and trans world love letters are considered. Anticipating objections, I argue that we can stand in the right kinds of relations to merely possible people, to be in love with them, and that ending a trans world relationship to start a relationship with an actual person isn't cruel to one's otherworldly lover. Again, this entire paper is taking the piss out of extended modal realism by reducing it to an absurdity. But it's a really fun read if you want to actually read it. It does provide a really good reason to think extended modal realism is really fucking stupid. But anyway, so back to the song, right? We're getting our yap in today.
Wolf spider waits in the gray, claws on clone, bite on bone, stayed ready to break. We circled in a gravity while we're dead, sun strove, but I slipped and bangs with a sidestep through modalities.
Yeah, so that part we saw right here. So the good night tiger wolf spider is a little bit is a little bit of me being a shitter. If anyone is familiar with the Ballad of Ung, hold on, let me see if I can find it. The Ballad of Ung is a Flork of Cows story, where a caveman with supernatural strength is brought to life after having been frozen. And there's a skit, if you haven't seen the Ballad of Ung, sorry for spoilers, but he is chased by a thing which, yeah, you know, everyone thinks it's just a myth, and it turns out the fucking thing is actually real. The night tiger, right? Which is very clearly a metaphor for like crippling and extreme depression. So, and I also like puns. So instead of just a night tiger, it's a good night tiger. And then I also like compounds. So it's like we have the tiger wolf, which is a word in English. So think about like a thought experiment of if English never was influenced by the French, how would, for example, the thylacine be called? Well, or a hyena. Well, tiger wolf is like one of the words that was devised for English. But a wolf spider is also a real animal. So you put these together, you get the tiger wolf spider. Combining the idea of a tiger, a wolf, and a spider is all dangerous things. Put it as good night, but night in this case is in the sense of like a, actual night. You see this in, for example, Code Geass with the nightmare frames, but instead of it being like nightmare starting with an N, it's nightmare starting with a K. So, good night, tiger wolf spider waits in the gray. We saw that in the lore earlier. Claws on chrome, bite on bone, fate ready to break. Again, the fight with the tiger wolf spider. We circled in a gravity well where dead suns strobe, but I saw. Hold on, I think it actually reversed these two lines too. Hold on, let me check something. This is actually really fun. Okay, yeah, no, never mind. Never mind, I'm being schizophrenic. So. Let's see. Wait, where was I? I was on the wrong video again. I have too many tabs open. Anyway. But I slipped its fangs with the sidestep through modalities. Again, just fucking bail out of that fight, right? Go somewhere else, right? To recover kind of deal. Again, the cosmic super being. Okay, no, cosmic, yes, super being, no, right? Right, I got, funny enough, so if you want to know why I decided to use extended modal realism in the lore, it's because I wanted a mechanism by which I could justify being able to interact with other people who have their own lores, but my interaction with them doesn't have any logical consequences for anything within their world. Why? Because we actually have our different lores. I'm just jumping from between, storylines in order to, like, interact with people. So, to avoid any kind of, lore implications on them. Let's see. Because I like VTubing as a kayfabe, right? Fucking professional wrestling, but with cute anime girls. And, schizophrenic anime boys, right?
Cookies jangling, privacy shield, NFTs, sigils on the walls of the cell. 30 verse hymns from a sovereign hell. I own what I make and I leave you alone.
Again, we see this as like directly from the lore, right? I didn't expect when I actually put all of this in the AI that like all three of the songs would actually make use of the political part. Like, damn. Okay, fair enough. I was completely caught off guard with that when it actually happened. So the crypto keys jangling was actually really funny to me, right? This is anyone remember the fucking like? Hold on, the fucking GG keys jangling. Fucking. I fucking love that, like, it actually fucking worked, right? Jingle jangle, right? The fucking Markiplier method. Oh my god. Yes, the Markiplier, I tell you, fucking ADD viewer strat right there. Let me see if I can find it, because it's just a funny scene.
So it would randomly choose.
There we go. I think it's right here.
And then you see green lights light up on the map. Do you see the green lights light up on the map?
Yeah, I
Jingle
see that.
jangle,
I see
jingle
that.
You need to connect the first one to the second one, okay?
Uh-huh.
You can only do that by building trains between the 2 points.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's just yeah. So I find that really fucking funny, to be perfectly honest. The crypto keys jangling is like, okay, yeah, fair enough, right? Privacy shield, NFT sigils on the walls of the cell. Fediverse, hymns. So yeah, I've expressed my like support for cryptocurrency, for privacy technology, NFTs, the Fediverse, and I've expressed the whole idea of, again, copy left, which you know, and right libertarianism. So it's like, again, I own what I make and I leave you alone. See, it's like if I make something, then that's mine. But like if you make something, even if it's a derivative of mine, then again, you made that. It's not mine.
Symbols, dismantle the trick. Break every system that runs on the myth. Postmodern autopsy of a god made of clay. Fan wars, news cores, all the culture that bleeds.
Man, they really did like cut this apart and just like it's like listening to a lyrical mosaic at this point. Hold on. I tear through symbols, dismantle the trick. That's kind of like the whole point of a lot of my rants, right? Is explaining to you what the signs and symbols mean, but also explaining like how the trick works. The trick isn't actually that complicated. It's just very effective, which is again why I sometimes repeat what I'm saying, because it is literally just the same trick, just applied in a different area. Break every system that runs on the myth. Yeah, I want to see the complete dismantling of Gnosticism in all of its forms, whether it's applied to economics, whether it's applied to metaphysics, whether it's applied to like phenomenology. I want to see the complete dismantling of Gnosticism. There's no good argument for Gnosticism or the Gnostic worldview, and I want to see it completely torn down. That's kind of the point, right? So a postmodern autopsy of a god made of clay. Yeah, we're attacking false gods here, idols, right? And it's a postmodern autopsy in that, like, yeah, we can actually just turn a lot of their tools on themselves, right? Because one of the points I made is that deconstructionism doesn't survive its own test. So use deconstructionism's test against itself. It actually is a really simple thing sometimes. It's like, what about logical positivism? Well, logical positivism doesn't pass its own test either. So why would I take it seriously? Just apply the standards of logical positivism to logical positivism. Watch the whole thing collapse. It's kind of the point, right? So it's like when you're faced with a deconstructionist, apply deconstructionism to deconstruction itself and see where you go. And you'll find that deconstruction cannot reconstruct itself. And that's, again, kind of the point of me pointing that out. Fan news, fan wars, news cores, all the culture that bleeds. I do want to talk more about fan stuff too, right? Like fandom stuff, because I find fan culture really fun. And in fact, actually, I have to read the Moe Manifesto, because there is some like interviews in the Moe Manifesto attempting to put a Marxist like reading on otaku culture. And if you've ever done fandom studies, you'll notice that there is a Marxist bent in a lot of fandom studies as well, putting the oppressor-oppressed relationship, you know, the bourgeoisie proletariat thing, in the relationship between fandom and creator. And yeah, again, when I was talking about intersectionality and the ruthless criticism of all that exists through a Marxist lens, I wasn't joking. It is found in a lot of places. So.
Why? You see it too, right? The layers.
I actually really did like this part in the song, because this is like the most schizo energy too, right? You see it too, right? You just fucking like, yeah. This gives me the energy of the guy from It's Always Sunny. I think it's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I'm not entirely sure. I've never actually seen the show. I've just seen the meme of the guy completely disheveled as he's trying to figure out what's going on. He's got the fucking literally the strings and the thumbtacks, and he's trying to prove that this one guy doesn't exist, and it turns out he actually did, right? Like maximum schizo energy. Like, hold on, hear me out, right? I'm not crazy, right? And I'm like, God, do I feel like that sometimes? God, do I actually feel like that sometimes, right? So I really did appreciate the whole schizo energy thing. Oh wait, here we go. From earlier, we get the actual full part. They said it's just a game. They said it's just a stream. They said it's just a dream. So again, these parts of the yeah, here, and I think there was one where it said stream too. Let me check. Yeah, they said it's just a stream. What about dream? Okay. Oh wait, yeah, because it's just those two. Actually, game is the one I'm looking for. Fuck. Okay, yeah, so all three of them are presented in fragmented form beforehand to foreshadow them coming together here. Interesting. I don't know if foreshadow is like the correct term musically. There probably is a musical version of foreshadow, I just don't know what the term is. Where is... Here it is.
Circuits of blood. Across collapsing constellations, I trace your waveform in the night. A girl with autumn wave eyes where particles collide. Are you wrong or am I right? You call me noise, call me...
So, there's a couple things going on here. So the whole autumn waves thing is, it's actually a calque of a Chinese idiom. To describe beautiful eyes is like autumn waves, right? So it's like, yeah, I'll put that in there because I do like using calques sometimes. So a calque is like a direct translation of an idiom or an idea instead of like transcribing the idea. So it's like just like writing the word down in English letters. So across collapsing constellations, I trace your waveform in the night is a line. Autumn is a direct rip from the song. A girl with autumn wave eyes where particles collide. This is where I'm pretty sure now that we are using more than one song in here. Let's try this again. If I could spell. So that one, it's not that one. Doesn't appear at all here. But that's where this song comes from, is from this one, which is fair. And did I close down all three of them? Possibly. Maybe I'm retarded. Oh, wait, I didn't check this one. So there's 3 in here. All right, maybe that one was a completely unique verse. Although I did really like this one. I'm searching for eyes like autumn and matter. I actually really like that particular line. So, a girl with autumn wave eyes where particles collide. Again, a girl with beautiful eyes. And where particles collide is just because we're talking about like wave particles here, right? Quantum mechanics. Well, particle colliders aren't really measuring quantum mechanics. They're usually testing the standard model of particle physics, which is an entirely separate theory which stands and falls on its own accord. The standard model is not actually that hard to memorize the table of and like the interrelations of the particles of, but yeah, there's like particle colliders. Like, I just like, you know, I think we all like particle colliders, even though they're probably a waste of money, let's be perfectly honest. It's like the are you wrong or am I right? Let's see. Again, this was a line that the AI came up with. But it does have a very VTuber-esque sound to it, especially like political VTubers.
Glitch got me cracked. Every truth they suppressed, I unpack. Through the void, through the fight, through the black. When it's so over, we're so back. We're so back, never fade into static. I'm the friend of the real, turning sorcery dramatic. Yeah, we're so over their world. We're so back.
All right, so despite all of these being broken and fragmentary, we don't really get the broken and fragmentary in the song itself, which I do find actually quite often, right? Is that like when you're trying to make something broken and fragmentary, you have to tell Suno that it needs to be broken and fragmentary. Otherwise, it'll just like smash everything together in a rapid pace, which, to be fair, is partly due to the time constraints, right? That Suno is often working with. So, call me noise, call me a glitch, call me cracked. Again, These are all things that like the left calls us, right? Oh, you're just making a lot of noise. Like you're glitched, you're cracked. The cracked in this case, it's like when people call you crazy or broken, right? Is another thing that the left will oftentimes call you. Glitch, again, kind of crazy, right? Like you're not thinking correctly, your mind is glitching out. Again, noise, it's like, oh yeah, all of this is just gas, right? You couldn't do anything if you really wanted to. I think I've heard Hassan Piker call like fucking people all of these, not directly in like these words, but in essence, right? Let's see. Every truth they suppress, I unpack is like what we should all be doing if we're in the political sphere. It's what Kirsche tries to do. It's what Leaflet tries to do. It is what Asmongold tries to do. And it is what I try to do. This isn't particularly like a me thing. This is, we all come from it from different lenses and different experiences, and there are things that Asmongold is going to notice that I'm going to completely miss. There's things that Leaflet's going to notice I'm going to completely miss. There's things that Kirsche is going to notice I'm going to completely miss. And I guarantee you at some point I've made an observation every single one of these people have missed, but I was able to make, right? That's because like no one can cover all the bases. We kind of all need each other in this particular space to cover all the bases. And that was literally the entire point of me like starting this channel. Was originally it was to focus more on Kirsche and Leaflet's like stuff, and to help explain the parts that they miss, but they're still right on, right? Or correct errors. And it was like, nah, at this point I'm gonna talk about the things that catch my attention, right? Because to be perfectly honest, they don't really need my help. They really don't. And that was pretty obvious from the beginning, but it was like, yeah, fair enough. Let's see. So, through the void, through the fight, through the black. So it's like when it's so over, again, we're so back. So I just really liked this particular line. I saw this in a meme. It was like in the midst of... No, wait, it wasn't in a meme. It was in a Mentis Wave video, funny enough. Mentis Wave made some comment in one of his videos of, in the midst of It's So Over, we'll find We're So Back. So it's like, yeah, this is directly a Mentis Wave addition to the lore and the song, right? And apparently all three of the songs really like this idea of when it's so over, we're so back, because it appears in like all three of the fucking songs. But yeah, through the void. So the void is like emptiness. Through the fight is conflict, Kampf. Through the black is negation, right? So through emptiness, through the struggle, Kampf would be like the Nazis version. You have like class struggle in the Marxism, right? You have what was it, Eris in in the Heraclitean thought, because like all of these damnable ideas come from Heraclitus. But yeah, that's because they believe reality is in a sense empty. It is in a sense defined through conflict. It is in a sense bleak, right? That's why they have to negate the real. They have to negate the real because the real is evil, so that they can manifest their speculative metaphysic and try to impose that as the real. So yeah, through the void, through the fight, through the black. So it's like through through all the bad things that they're trying to hoist on us, right? When it's so over, we're so back. It's not time to sit down and lie down and take it. It's time to fight back even harder than you've ever fought before, to be perfectly honest. Never fade into static, so do not be dissolved into the background noise, right? I'm the friend of the real, turning sorcery traumatic. This was one that I really appreciated in the AI's lyricism, right? Friend of the real. Because my entire point is like, I'm not trying to convince you to be a theist. I'm not trying to convince you to be an atheist. I'm trying to convince you to be a realist. Not in the sense of like there aren't any higher ideas to aspire to, but in the sense of like the real is the most important thing that we have, because it is that what actually exists, right? Like something that doesn't exist isn't really of consequence to us because it doesn't fucking exist. So we need to put a focus on the real. All of these abstractions, right? All of this Marxist machination from queer theory to feminism to fucking critical race theory, all of it is about, again, denying the real and putting some speculative metaphysic, some idea as primary, and putting the real as if it's some kind of like spook. No, that's not how it works. It's not how any of this works, right? So yeah, I did appreciate that line. And turning sorcery traumatic. Yeah, I kind of want to expose again how the Gnostic spell works. That way people can understand it and deconstruct it. And I want people to understand how much this sorcery has damaged their lives, because it has immiserated all of us, right? By separating yourself from the real, which is the only place you can find your happiness, by the way, is by interfacing correctly with the real world. They're robbing you of your ability to be happy. It's like, what's that whole line? Remember what they took from you, right? It goes deep. It really does go deeper than then I wager the Hebrews did this. No, it goes deeper than that. Dispensationalism, like there's like Chabad, like apocalypticism. You have the Twelvers. It turns out it is actually the Marxists, who are themselves atheists, but are allegedly atheists, even though their conception of God is just the collective of all human activity, right? The fascists, the Nazis themselves, right, back in the day, were Odinists, and look at how they immiserated their own people, right? It's the same thing. Every time we have these people who have a disordered hatred of the world they actually live in, and in disordered love of a hypothetical world that exists only in their minds, that they believe they can bring to fruition if everyone would just get on board. That is the problem. That is these are the, again, Gnostics that are trying to change the real, which they have no power to do, and as the result, robbing all of us of what, you know, we would want in life. Remember what they took from you. It goes far deeper than what a lot of people want to say. It is a very specific way of thinking, and the people who propagate this way of thinking, and it is the Gnostics, right? Hegel is one of the worst things to have happened to the West, if not the worst thing to have happened to the West, because like almost all of these bad ideas in the West come from Hegel. Now you have people who recreate the same bad ideas over in other countries. For example, Japan was not Hegelian in World War II, but it was a Kokugaku mistake that, you know, resulted in what happened to Japan, right, and the immiseration of its people as a result. But, you know, I digress. But it was still an apocalyptic worldview. So anyway, yeah, we're so over their world. Again, their world is and I think it's even like actually like capitalized in the captions of my video. So we're so over their world, their false world, the world in their head, right? And we're so back. We want to return to the real, to live in the real world, to stop living in this speculative metaphysic, right? Let fiction be fiction, right? Let reality be reality, and know the fucking difference. Oh my god. So hold on. So let's take another look at this and now check to see what the thing is. So new metal, I got that part. Progressive metal. I'm curious as to why he put these two together, because it's not exactly a secret that I am a big new and progressive metal fan. Cinematic anime core, I mean, that makes sense. It is a VTuber, you know, lore song, right? Terminally online glitch core energy, glitchy hello there friend. Oh, you know what? Hold on.
Hello there, friends.
Okay, so the Halo There Friends didn't get glitched out itself, but it did glitch out around it. Okay, hold on. Which I've told, like, for example, we don't have the lyrics, chorus, outro thing in brackets, but like if you put them in brackets, it'll section out off in the Suno, and you can give instructions within the brackets for Suno to follow. They have to be within a certain, like, there has to be certain preconditions for the instructions for them to work, but if you want to stylize the song further than the style prompt, you can add lyric instructions with the style instructions. So let's see what we have here. Broadcast intro like corrupted live stream booting up. Heavy down-tuned guitars, punchy drums that feel like they're arguing with the beats per minute. Okay. You know, I don't know if Suno can understand that, but I'm having an idea as to what that is. Syncopated semi-rap vocals delivered like unhinged schizo posting over riffs Okay. With a massive, overly dramatic anime opening chorus with layered harmonies and choir pads. I mean, to be fair, the song he picked is probably the most anime of all of the songs that I have, right? So, theme. I didn't know we could put theme in the style guide, to be perfectly honest. Interesting. I genuinely didn't know that. So cosmic exile, but also posting through it. Rebellion against false gods and fake timelines, breaking illusions like you just discovered the game isn't a game. Dimension hopping, like alt-tabbing reality, searching across universes for girls with autumn wave particle eyes as the only stable variation. Variable. Interesting. I'm gonna have to ask around as to like what exactly this does, if anything, in a style guide to Suno. Because if I can separate the sections like this might actually be interesting to play around with than the style prompts I've been putting in my my videos, which generally don't make these distinctions. Sound. Digital glitches, we definitely have that. Corrupted audio artifacts, I think we have that. Sci-fi ambience, oh, I definitely got that. Choir pads, UI sounds, stream noise, data collapse textures. I don't know what the fuck this means, to be perfectly honest. Blastbox, I do not understand your prompts. Maybe you're too advanced for me. I have no fucking idea. Let's see. Intense, chaotic, paranoid, rebellious. Yeah, I got that. But weirdly hopeful, like we're so back as a belief system. It is, right? Like I don't think it's all over. I think we can actually still come back. I do think it is possible, right? Hell, I do think it's still possible for fucking Russia and Iran to have a "we're so back" moment. They just have to give up. They first just have to give up their false beliefs. It's the kind of the prerequisite for all of us in order to get our we're so back. We have to get rid of those ideas that again are that come before the real.
Do you see it yet?
Okay, let's go back. We're gonna give a listen through with less commentary towards the beginning, right?
Hello there, friends. Do you see it yet?
Hold on, I just noticed this in the image. If you look at the top, yeah, this is a mixture between two different images. Hold on. Hold the fuck on. I just noticed this. Not that one. I mean, obviously the individual in the center, like that rendering with that's glitched out, is based off of this one. But it's also combining, because you can see at the top left-hand side, the figures holding the swords in an almost like military display, right? And you can see the stars form their eyes and their face, and you can see, again, that's very clearly this image of like the Devaloka casting everyone, casting me out. And you can see the Gothic imagery in the background. Try this one. Huh. I don't know if this one was used in any respect in the creating of this. It doesn't look like it. Okay, so it is at least a remix of these three, images. I'm gonna have to go in and just like cut out this figure to make a transparent of it. And I guess for some collabs, I could use this as the fucking avatar, right?
The seams in the sky. Good. Why hello there, friends. From the pad, it's Exile sky where the walls hum glyphs only Exiles can decode. They said it's just a dream, but why does it bleed when I peel it apart? They go mad to fall and decay, but I bit through the veil and I slipped away. I spoke a treason in a language they fear. Ghost got smiling with a knife to the sphere. Time like infinity, pulling me down, fall and decay. But I won't kneel to their scripted ends. I glitch, I jump, I bench and stand. We're so back in the cosmic black, where the false light screens crack. I attack, I'm the glitch in in their dream, the relapse effect. They said it's just a stress out back, but the end of forever. When the stars flicker around, but I sever the tether. Across every world, every break in the pattern. They said it's just a game. The night tiger wolf spider waits in the gray. Claws on clone, bite on bone, stayed ready to break. We circled in a gravity while we're dead sunstroke, but I slipped and bangs with a sidestep through modalities. Crypto keys jangling, privacy shield, NFTs, sigils on the walls of the cell. 30 verse hymns from a sovereign hell. I own what I make and I leave you alone. I tattoo symbols, dismantle the trick. Break every system, pull down on the myth. Postmodern autopsy of a god made of clay. Fan wars, news cores, all the culture that bleeds. Wait! You see it too, right? The layers, the layers, the layers. The layers. They said it's just a
Actually, I'm starting to make a connection here, because obviously the form of the song is broken apart, right? And I think that's actually kind of the point, right? Because it's a glitch, and you can see it right here. It's like different pieces melded together. They're broken apart and they're recompiled, and they're like they are recognizable to an extent, but unrecognizable to another extent. And I think that's why the song was cut up and remixed in the way that it was. I don't really have a way to explain it in a technical detail because I'm not a musician, right? I never really studied music theory, so this part escapes me. But there's that, right? But I think that actually might explain some of like the breaking apart of the song, such as again breaking apart this particular section and seeding it throughout the song.
Circuits of blood. Across collapsing constellations, I trace your waveform in the night. A girl with autumn wave eyes where particles collide. Are you wrong or am I right? You call me noise, call me glitch, call me cracked. Every truth they suppressed, I unpack. Through the void, through the fight, through the black. When it's all over, we're so back. We're so back, never fade into static. I'm the friend of the real, turning sorcery dramatic. Yeah, we're so over their world. We're so back.
What a fucking wild year this has been, to be perfectly honest. Not only yeah, what a fucking another thing that I just never would have expected to have ever happened to me. Like one of the songs that I generate ends up getting remixed. Fucking wild year that just doesn't seem to stop wilding out, and I'm not complaining. I'm very flattered. I'm very honored that like Blastbox would feel like he you know that this would be a song worth remixing. It's just again, it still feels unreal, all of this stuff. But yeah, I like the song, right? I genuinely do like the song. There's not really much for me to go into with the lyrics or anything like that because like I don't really study musical structure or form, so I can't really talk about the style prompt, right? And it's like, again, it's a remix of my lyrics, which I didn't write. It was an AI that wrote it, and I think it generally is like pretty straightforward. It's kind of hard to go into that in any detail without insulting the intelligence of the audience. I do like the song though; it is a bop. I'm adding this to my driving music playlist, right? But it's oh shit! Hold on, it was a 1,000 sub gift. Fuck, I didn't know this. I should probably read, once again, I should have read the description first. So Blastbox actually has a message for me. Hey Cosmic, I hope you don't mind, lol, and happy 1,000 subs. I do not mind, I'm actually very flattered. If you want to remix any song that I've made, you'll feel free to do so. I'm not a stickler. Again, I'm against copyright in general, so it's like, I'm not exactly going to enforce it. So Adam Cosmic Otaku released 3 lore songs that all just cover the same things in 3 different ways. So I thought, what happens if I tell ChatGPT to mass up the lyrics in the funniest way possible without devolving into gibber? Okay, you know what? This explains a lot, actually. This explains a lot. So it was ChatGPT that took this and mashed it together. And you know what? ChatGPT probably wrote the style guide, because this is something I see ChatGPT sometimes do with the style guides. I have to tell ChatGPT to stop doing this, because I don't think this does, the separating the theme, sound, and mood, because I don't think it actually does anything. I think in general you're supposed to weight the most important parts towards the front and the least important parts towards the back, but I digress. This is just something that I suspect. I don't know if it's actually true. I'd have to ask about it. So yeah, fair enough, right? I mean, that's exactly how I got these songs. I fed 3 different AIs my lore, and I was like, go ham with it, right? Then for a style, I grabbed it from a song I liked most and told ChatGPT, I want you to take this the style prompt I provide, but memify it to hell. That is fair. Yeah, fair enough, right? We need to use the internet meme magic to our advantage. Below is the result of all this. Okay, so I basically read this backwards. Which I knew I was doing. I just didn't realize that I probably should have read this front to back first. Well, Blastbox, I quite enjoyed this song. Again, if you want to remix anything that I've made or mash it up with anything, or want to do a fucking composite of anything I've made, feel free to use anything that I've made, for any project that you want. I'm not gonna bitch and moan about it, to be perfectly honest. In fact, I'm actually quite flattered if someone finds something that I've made valuable enough to actually make something of their own about it. Right? So again, there's not. I like the song, but there's not really much I can go into in depth about it, because again, it is a remix and remake of my own song. I do quite enjoy it, but again, there's not really much for me to break down about it, because it's basically just a remix of my fan song, which I do appreciate again. So again, I can't wait to see what you have in the in the plans and works. And I do have another song, a Blastbox, to work on, which is not a remix of a song that I made, but rather a song apparently highlighting how I yap. So that'll be definitely interesting. Anyway, y'all have a lovely day, and I will get some food and then record the next video.